Thank you for tuning in to Naijha Speaks. I'm Naijha Wright Brown, co-owner of the Land of Kush Vegan Soul Bistro in Baltimore and executive director of the Black Veg Society. And I'm also contributing for Jane Unchained News. We have a very, very, very special guest today. So I really can't wait to bring this person on. Introducing Dr. Sailesh Rao. How are you doing today? We're going to be talking about what the Vegan World Convergence is. What is it? It's been going on for a little while. But let's talk about you first. Let's find out something. Tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, Dr. Rao.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me, Naijha. I'm an engineer. I'm a systems engineer, and I used
That's
to work
big
on.
time. That's big time.
But I used to work on the internet back in the 90s,
Oh, wow.
and then in 2005, I happened to see Al Gore's presentation on TV, and I was so shocked. I said, if half of what he's saying is true, I'm wasting my time. So
Wow.
I decided to look into it. My wife actually said, if you think it's that important, go ahead and study it. And so I looked into it, and within a couple of months, I realized it's far worse. So we closed our company, and I wrote to Mr. Gore, and I said, "How can I help you?" So that's how I got into it. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. Like that was an immediate change. So at that point, did you become a vegan?
Not right away. See, I
Okay.
was a vegetarian at that point. Okay.
Okay.
So I thought I was only consuming dairy. I'm not so bad, right? So I thought I was not so bad. And then the more I studied it, the more I realized that, dairy may be a huge issue.
Yeah, isn't it?
Well, I was
The
thinking maybe,
inflammatory part of it, definitely, right?
right. But when you look at the papers, the scientific papers, they portray that dairy is not such a big deal. Okay. So they even show lacto-vegetarian is only slightly worse than vegan.
Hmm.
In fact, there are papers where they show lacto-vegetarian is better than vegan.
What?
Yeah.
Really? I
Yeah.
suffered a lot of problems consuming dairy and didn't even know back then. And I'm glad I know what I know
Right.
now today. So
Right.
how did the Climate Healers organization come about, and what's the organization's mission?
Yeah, so it was during the training with Al Gore. I asked question about animal agriculture, and he basically brushed it off. So he,
Why do you think he
I
brushed it
mean,
off?
he actually turned to Roy Neal, his chief of staff, and he said, "How did this guy get in here?" Because right. So he didn't want to address it. So then I said, "Wait a minute. It looks like they are talking about how to make money off climate change. I'd rather focus on how to really solve climate change." So I started Climate Healers in 2007. When I started, it was called the Lighting Project. Okay, so I was working on one particular aspect of it. I was going to help people who are using kerosene for lighting. I was going to give them solar lights and then claim carbon credits for all the lights, all the kerosene they're not burning, and then use that to fund the lights. So that was my business model. So I went to this village in India. I sent all these lights over. I went to the village, and within half an hour, my business model fell apart.
Oh, wow. What happened? Why did it fall apart?
Because the women said, "What lighting? We don't use kerosene for lighting." They said, "Why do you want to change the night? God gave us night so we can go to sleep." So,
Wow. Wow.
so then I asked them, "So what do you use all the kerosene for?" Because they were getting 3 liters of kerosene per month from the ration shop. And they said, "Oh, we use it to start our cooking fires."
Ah, okay.
So that's when Lighting Project became Climate Healers. Because
Oh, wow.
I said to the women, if I gave you solar cookers, will you use them? And they said, "Oh, show us how to make our food. Of course we'll use them." So that's how it started. Okay. and
Nice.
and as part of that, I asked them, I told them, if I have all these lights, so if I give them to you, will you use them? They said, "Sure." So I gave every household 2 lights. Okay. And went back 6 months later to see what they were doing with it. And meanwhile, I hired a company to build a solar cooker that will cook their food. And so when I went back to the village in December of 2008, I had become the hero in the village. Everybody, everybody loved me. I said, What happened?" And apparently, between August and December was snake bite season in the village.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So women used to get bitten by snakes,
Wow.
especially women,
Wow.
Be- because women have to go out into the forest before the men wake up to do their business.
Okay.
That's
Yes.
the custom, okay?
Yes.
And during winter, it gets really dark when they're going out. So they're stepping on the snakes, and when they step on the snakes bite them. So that's how they were getting snake bites. And so every year, that village used to have 20 to 30 snake bites, and 2 to 3 women used to die from snake bites.
Oh, that's
And
sad.
in 2008, they had zero snake bites because
Wow.
they had a light.
They had the light.
That's all
Dr.
it took.
Sailesh Rao brought the light and saved the village. That is an amazing, amazing
Well,
story.
I had no idea that's what I was doing. Okay, so I
That's
had
an
no.
amazing story. You are definitely a hero. Awesome. Awesome. So we are here today. Everyone, if you're just tuning in, we're going to be talking about what is the vegan world conversion. Before we get into that, I'd just like to know, what do you eat, Dr. Rao? What are your favorite foods as a vegan?
Oh, we make a lot of the traditional dishes, but we make it all completely whole food, plant based.
Oh, you're saying my favorite word. Whole
Right.
food, plant based. So what is that? Look, what are you eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
So for breakfast, I usually just eat fruits and make a smoothie. Maybe sometimes I make a smoothie with the greens we have and bananas and fruits. For lunch, I typically make some traditional foods. Usually, I make a soup called sambar, which is a traditional food that my mother used to make. But she used to add oil for roasting the spices. I just
Okay.
dry roast the spices. That's all.
Okay.
Otherwise, it
Okay.
was already almost whole food plant based to begin with,
Okay. Okay.
right? And then we typically make these fermented rice cakes, rice and lentil cakes. And so we actually grind up the rice and the lentils together, and then we ferment it overnight, and then we steam it, and that's
Nice.
called idlis. And it's one of my favorite foods, and my granddaughter loves it. For her, she calls herself an idli monster.
Awesome. I definitely have to try that. That is amazing. So we're here because we know there's challenges. There's
Yeah.
challenges that we're facing with advocating for veganism, whether it's from the animal rights perspective, environmentalism, health, world hunger. What
Mm.
are some of those challenges, and what is being done to address the challenges, Dr. Rao?
It is it's a whole systems issue, right? So that's what
It's
I
the
mean.
system, everyone. It's the system.
It's a system. It's a system. Okay, the system, it has everything coded in it. I mean, think of it as a game. Okay, this is what we do as human beings. We we tell stories and we play games. That's what
Exactly. And it goes on in all the countries, right? Is that what is happening?
exactly
That's also happening? Okay. You're hearing it right here live. That is what's happening.
right.
Okay.
So we tell stories and we play games, and the kind of stories we tell determine how we act in the world, and the kind of games we play determine what kind of system we are creating, okay, for our daily lives. So the game of money, the way it has been coded, okay, so there are rules of how you create money. Only banks can do it, not you and I, right? So
Right.
so
Exactly.
using that mechanism, they have coded racism, colonialism, ableism, speciesism, patriarchy. It's all coded in the system, in the game itself, because that's how it's set up, right? So as long as we keep playing the same money game, we will have all these things built in. There's nothing you can do about it. You are stuck with it until you change the game.
Exactly.
So we have to change the game. So we have to figure out a different game that codes our values. What are our values? Well, they already told us all men are created equal, meaning all men, women, children, they're all created equal, right? All of us are created equal. So that's fundamental rule we need to put in the game. Second is we all have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's also
Yes.
there. And
Yes.
I said, let's code it because it's not there now. Because they tell you you have a right to life, and then they tell you you also have to earn a living. I said, wait a minute. If I had a right to life all along, why do I have to earn a living? You know what I mean? That's the opposite.
Right.
So they're telling us one thing and doing the opposite, and that's because of the way the game is coded. So we need to code this. Everyone has a right to life, meaning they are guaranteed, okay, that they belong in the community.
Right.
Community is going to take care of you. You'll have at least healthy food available to you. You'll have a shelter available to you. You have clothing available to you for free. Okay.
Yes.
Then you choose what you want to do. How do you want to contribute to the community? Okay. So that's a different system. It's a different game you're playing. And the second is, the right to liberty, right? So they tell you you all have a right to liberty, and then we have implemented, a system where we have the most incarcerated population in the world. So wait a minute, how did that happen?
Dr. Rao's breaking it down for you, everyone. So listen up.
Right? So you're saying one thing and doing the opposite. That's what I mean by that, right? So which means there are some foundational flaws in how we have implemented the game. And the third is the pursuit of happiness, right? So they say we all have the right to pursuit of happiness. It was given to us by our creator. Well, why is it then half of Americans are on antidepressants or anti-anxiety medications or illegal drugs on a regular basis? So
Exactly.
did we mess up? Of course we did, right? So let's figure out how to create a game that codes these three things correctly, right? And that to me is what the Vegan World Convergence is about. That's what we are doing. We are figuring out this new game. We are figuring out this new stories that we need to tell so that everyone, it resonates with everyone. And they say, I want to belong to that. You know, I don't want to be where I am. And so it's about fashioning this transformation, because I see this as a transformation that's happening in humanity. Okay, going from our caterpillar stage where we were just munching and eating, we were just consuming like crazy, behaving
Right.
like caterpillars,
Right.
to the butterfly stage where we are sipping nectar from flowers and we are pollinating the flowers, we are regenerating life. So we become like the caregivers species of the planet, the climate regulating species of the planet. Okay.
So the vegan world conversion, this is not the first one. You've been
Right.
doing this for some time. How long has it been? And how has it been going so far?
Right. Well, let me begin at the beginning, which is
Please do.
it always starts with my granddaughter. Okay. It's Kimaya.
Yes.
She's the one who originated this. She's the one who actually changed my life. Okay.
I
When she
love
was
it. I
born.
love it. The granddaughter inspired granddad. Beautiful.
She changed my life when she was born. Anyway, I mean, so this particular thing happened in 2016, okay, where I had been studying the environment, and I knew how abysmal it was, how fast we were killing animals. So we have been killing. We had killed 52% of wild animals between 2010 and between 1970 and 2010. Okay, and that became 58% by 2012. And this is a comprehensive survey of 3,500 species that the World Wildlife Fund has been doing since 1970. So this is not, you can't say this is wrong, right?
Right. Exactly.
So
It's
I look at that
facts.
and I say, wait a minute, you lost 3% per year. How many years do you have before you reach 100%? And it turned out to be 2026.
Wow. Do
Okay.
you think that's the intention, Dr. Rao? Because people know what's going on. This is facts, the studies, and
Well,
we have to come up with a vegan world convergence to address this. So this is the community stepping in and us trying to change the system and do we have to do to save the planet. But
right.
why, is the support really, really low? We talked about capitalism and things like that. But why wouldn't people want to just step in and say, hey, let's stop this because this is what's going to happen in 2026. The
It,
animals are going to be extinct.
right. But I think people are stuck in the system. right? So there are a lot of people who are stuck in the system, and there are a few people who are really running the system. I mean, they're like way up there because they are the ones who own all the banks. It's like a few of them, and I think they just don't have. I mean, they have been their compassion has been completely encompassed in iron or steel or something. I don't know what happened. So
Right.
so they can't feel it anymore. You know
Right.
so
Right.
so they are literally continuing the system even though it is killing us. It's deliberately killing us. Okay, so it's killing all the animals. We see that. Okay, we killed 52%, as I said, by 2010, 58% by 2012. It became 68% by 2016. So it's going in the same rate. It's going to hit 100% by 2026. So, but that's wild animals, right? So they don't even care about that. That's like out of their sight, out of mind. Now they are farming people. I mean, they're killing people too. I mean, look at all the people who have diseases, right? So chronic
Y-
diseases. These are
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
these are all designed. These are by
Yeah.
design.
Let me show you this map. This is heart disease
Wow.
deaths in the United States.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Still the number one killer,
Yeah.
before
Right.
COVID. And
Right.
probably because of COVID, a lot of more people dying.
Right. Right. It is, it's by design because they're making money off these diseases. So we have a system that makes money of death, disease, and destruction. Death for the animals, diseases for human beings, and destruction of the planet. Because we are in a
Very
it's
selfish, very greedy, and
right.
definitely not an expression of love. So the vegan world conversion has been going on for 7 years,
Well,
and
no,
no
no,
more than
sorry.
that.
No, no.
Okay,
It's actually the seventh one, but
okay, it's the
we
seventh one.
started in 2018,
Okay,
uh,
okay.
2018, and then we did 2019. So initially it was just once a year, right?
Okay,
And we were meeting in person.
okay.
And then COVID happened.
Yes,
And then, when COVID happened, we said, okay, we can't meet in 2019. No, we did meet 2019, 2018, 2019. And then COVID happened. And then we decided to meet once a quarter
Okay.
and online.
Yeah, to accelerate it. It's an
Right,
emergency. Once a
right,
year isn't working anymore.
right.
So this is where we're at. So I'm showing everyone the flyer of the Vegan World 2026 is taking place this weekend, and I'm going to put it in the comments. And we have a couple of people that have chimed in since we've been talking. So it's taking place October 23rd to October 24th. And all the information just got put into the comments in terms of how you register, website. And this is an engagement of speakers, very passionate speakers, presenters, filmmakers, food alchemists, artists, and a whole lot more. I'm going to be speaking on Sunday, talking about bridging the gap through campaigns that I've worked on. So I'm excited about
Hmm.
that. What else can we expect, Dr. Rao, at the Vegan World Convergence this weekend?
You can expect to have your mind blown. Well, every time it happens to me, it happens to me. Okay, it's not just, it happens to me every time. Every convergence I've been to, I'm just amazed at what people come and teach me. What I learn from you, what I learn from other speakers, that improves me, that makes me better at what I do. And I think it works for all of us. Everyone who comes and listens goes through attends the whole convergence from morning. From It starts at 8 o'clock in the morning in Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time, and goes on till 9 p.m. Eastern time and 6 p.m. Pacific time. So
Wow.
it's 10 hours each day.
10
And
hours, everyone.
yeah, each day. And I assure you, those 20 hours over the weekend, you will be drinking from a fire hose.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I attended a couple. I know I sat on a panel or discussion in one of them, and it's just a lot of information to absorb, but it opens your mind, which is the
Right,
most important thing. We have to get out of this narrow mindset or this, one way of thinking, like it's not my problem. You have to find
right,
out how you can be the solution. I see someone here. Thank you for tuning in, Laura. Boycott meat and all other products of cruelty and exploitation in any way possible. And the passionate people, we can say this, until our throat is sore. But we need to get to the majority to understand that, because some people are like, boycott me, I'm going to eat my meat. Like, how do we get to that market? And we need to
Right.
have a lot of different creative ways of doing that, because again, it is all marketing, and it is something that we're going against the system on. So to be at this convergence, you're gonna people are gonna take away a lot of information, and they're just like you did when you heard Al Gore say something, and
Right.
how it touched you,
Right.
and how your granddaughter came into your life, and your granddaughter is touching you. And I didn't even ask, why is that? Why is it that your granddaughter has this impact on you?
Oh, yeah. See, it began when she was born. Okay, so when she was born, I was probably the most depressed environmentalist on the planet.
Oh,
because
wow.
because I'd
Wow.
been studying this for 4 years, and I thought we were going to hell in a handbasket. There's nothing I can do, you know. So we are the only species that doesn't belong on Earth. Take human beings out, and the planet will be fine. That's the conclusion I'd reached.
Take human beings out, and the planet will be fine.
That's the conclusion I
Daya, I
reached.
know this wasn't Daya. Thank you for tuning in. There was a comment, guarantee, right? I put that in, guarantee.
So I thought we were the only species that doesn't belong. Okay, so and then she was born in 2010 in November, and I noticed that my wife just disappeared. I mean, we were living in the Bay Area. She was born in Phoenix, and my wife just disappeared. I mean, she would go off and see my granddaughter and come back a week later, and then go off again. And finally, she told me, "You got to go see this girl. There's something magical about her." So I went to see her when she was a month old, and I held her in my arms for the first time, and I thought I was holding humanity in my arms, because you see, she has all continents in her. She has Asia from us, our side. Her mother is half African American, half American Indian. I mean, it's like I saw all of humanity in her, and I was holding her. And she looked up at me, and she had this knowing smile. And she was saying, "What do you mean I don't belong? I belong exactly as I am.
Right.
And you're a fool. You haven't understood me yet." Okay. So instantly I got that message in me saying, "Oh my God, she belongs exactly as she is. And we all must belong exactly as we are. And I'm just not seeing it yet. I'm not telling the right story. So I got to go study this." So I went back and I started writing my first book right away. And it just poured out of me, the first book. It's called Carbon Dharma. Okay. Dharma is what is the right thing to do,
Right.
which is very easy to figure out. I mean, it's not complicated to figure out how to live, right? So you just be kind to everybody.
Exactly. Exactly. Love.
Be
Yes.
kind
I
to
love.
all life, right? And you're done. I mean, the planet will
Yes.
be fine, everyone will be fine, right? But then I had to figure out, what were we doing all along, because her smile had told me that we were perfect all along. See, I mean, I had seen this, okay, in the forest. I had been to this sanctuary where I saw an elephant breaking branches of trees. And I asked the owner of the sanctuary, "Hey, isn't that elephant being destructive?" And she said, "No, everything the elephant does is part of the ecosystem." So
Right.
when the
Right.
elephant breaks branches of trees, that's where the sunlight streams to nourish the underbrush. Whenever the elephant, tramples on bushes, that's where new pathways are formed in the forest. Wherever the elephant goes and drops huge amounts of poop, that's where new jackfruit trees are born. She said everything the elephant does is part of the ecosystem. The elephant has no choice but to be part of the ecosystem.
Right.
So I said, wait a minute, if that's the case, we also have no choice but to be part of the ecosystem. So what were we doing all along?
Exactly.
And that
Exactly.
took me 5 years to figure out. Okay. So I wrote my second book in 2016 called Carbon Yoga. It took me 5 years to figure out, even though the answer was staring at me in the face all along.
Yeah, but this happens to a lot of us. So
I know, but and you look back and you say, "What the heck? You thought? I mean, you couldn't even see that." It was because as soon as you acknowledge that humans are changing the climate of the planet, we automatically have assumed responsibility for maintaining it, for maintaining that climate and
Right.
keeping it stable. So we are the climate regulator species. So that's why
Exactly.
Mother Earth spawned us and said, "You go and figure out how to stabilize the climate." Okay,
Exactly.
and that's what
Exactly.
we have been doing unconsciously for the first 10,000 years in this time, in this warm period. And now we have to start doing it consciously. That's all. Okay? That's the
Exactly.
change that's happening, right?
That says Dharma versus karma. Thank you for that. And thank you, Kamaya, for touching Granddad so that he can help us with being heroes
Well,
in in this new world,
right.
they say with the new world order. Who are some other guests or speaking topics at the Vegan World 2026 this weekend? So again, here's the information, folks, and I posted it in the comments. You can also
Yeah,
go to climatehealers.org to get
right.
some information as well. So who else, because it's a lot. That's 20 hours. So
Yeah,
what
20,
are
well,
people
20
expecting?
hours and we have 3 rooms.
Yes.
So you can
It's
go to
yeah.
one room or you can go to the other 2 rooms. Uh, so it's, I think we have totally about 38 or 40 hours of programming.
Wow.
And yeah, so there's a lot that we are screening 3 documentaries.
Which
And
documentaries are you screening?
so we are screening Plant Pure Nation,
Plant
and
Pure Nation, okay.
Nelson Campbell will be there to do a Q&A,
Okay.
the creator of the documentary. And then we are screening A Prayer for Compassion,
A Prayer for Compassion, okay.
and Thomas Jackson will be there. And we are also screening Eating Our Way to Extinction,
Eating Our Way to Extinction.
right? So,
Yes.
and that we will have Dr. Joanne Kong and Jared Bishop to do the Q&A after that. They're both in the movie, featured in the movie. And then we have the keynote addresses by you on Sunday morning.
Thank you.
We have keynote addresses in the evening on Saturday by Dr. Russell Mars, who wrote the book on nutrition, naturopathic medicine. And so he's going to be speaking about veganism and naturopathic medicine. And then,
Yay. Love it.
yeah,
That's my
and
thing.
then
I love
and
naturopathic medicine.
and then on Sunday night, the keynote address will be given by Rabbi Shmuley Yanklowitz, who will be talking about the spiritual underpinnings of veganism. And
Nice. Nice. That
yeah,
is a full pack. Now, will there be people would have to attend it this weekend? There's no replays or able to see it
oh,
again. Will it be how people can't do the full 20 hours?
right. Everything that we have done is on our Trello board for
Okay.
free.
Okay.
Anyone can watch whatever we have done in the past. They can watch it, but I mean, you're gonna have to binge watch because there's so much stuff.
Yeah, so much stuff. Yeah, but I can see people catching some things here, there, and
Right,
then they're like, okay, I might have to take a break and then come back. And there's a lot of stuff, and I'm sure people won't want to miss it, especially those topics that they're really into. So it's good to know that you can absorb some, digest it, and then be able to catch up.
right.
If not this weekend, during the week or something like that. So that is amazing. Do you have any other upcoming events that you're going to be working on? Because this is your mission. This is what you're
Right.
doing, right?
Right. Yeah, we have a big campaign going on at for COP26, which is the UN climate change meeting in Glasgow, Scotland.
That's
So
major.
yeah, so I'm
Yes.
preparing for that, and so there's a lot of prep work that's been going on for that, and so that's going to be from October 31st through November 12th. So I'll
Wow.
be in Scotland from October 29th through November 12th. So so I'll be back in November 15th. Hopefully we will have made some big changes, in the world. That's what we are hoping to do
Yes,
at
that's what we have
COP26.
to do.
We have
Hope
to
that
do.
H in hope needs to come have to do. We have to do this. So again, Vegan World 2026, the 7th convergence this weekend, October 23rd to the 24th. climatehealers.org. I've also posted links in the social media sites so that you can click, register, get information on speakers, all types of stuff. Everything is there for you in the comments, or go to climatehealers.org. And I'll put that in the comments as well. Is there any really strong message? And you have a lot of strong messages,
Mm.
Dr. Rao. So you really got to dig deep in, like, what is that one message that you would want to send to everyone that they can absorb and leave, start their day with,
Yeah.
to understand the importance of this all?
Yeah, one strong message I would have for everyone is that it is going to be a vegan world by 2026. That's it. It in my mind, it's already a vegan world. Okay, it's going to be a vegan world by 2026. Assume that, and then you figure out how you're going to get there. Okay?
I
That's
love
how
it.
all engineering projects are done.
Yes,
I never started an engineering project thinking I'm going to fail, because because if you think you can or you think you cannot, you're usually right. That's what Henry Ford said, right? So this is, we have to assume it's going to be there, that it's going to happen, and then we work our way to get there. And that,
we
to me, is, so
we have to create the
we have
future
to do
that
it.
we want to see. It is up to us to
Up
take
to us.
charge and do this. So
Right.
I'm definitely feeling that message and is resonating with me. How best can we follow you? I have climatehealers.org. I know your IG is Climate Healers.
Right.
Any other information on how best we can follow you, Dr. Rao?
Yeah, please come and join us. We sign up on our for our newsletters. I send a newsletter every week. I also do a podcast on Jane Unchained every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. I call it the Vegan World Moonshot Podcast, the moonshot of our generation. And from COP26, I'm going to be doing a podcast every day, updating you on what is going on with our campaigns. So please join us and stay informed. And this is to me, this is not a spectator sport. We all have to get our activist boots on
Yes.
and help make this world happen. And so I'm grateful for people like you, Naijha, for stepping up and making this happen. And it's my honor and my privilege to be walking alongside people like you.
Well, I appreciate that, Dr. Rao. 'Cause, I was going to say the same to you. I mean, I'm inspired by all that you're doing, because it really takes a lot to just listen to someone drop, what you thought your future was going to be and transition in something else. And you're doing an amazing, amazing job. I see a lot of power in you, and I'm
Mm.
sending you many, many, many blessings, and also to your granddaughter, Kimaya, because
Kimaya, yeah,
I have a
Kimaya.
9-year-old daughter myself who's living vegan, has been vegan from the womb. And
Wow.
yeah, exactly, from the womb. So we have a
Aren't
lot
they
of work to do.
amazing? Aren't they
Exactly,
amazing?
exactly. So, and navigating in this world and helping
Right,
people to understand that, we have to go vegan. We have to transition. We have to save the planet, stop harming the animals, and take care of our health.
right.
That's the true wealth right there. So I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone tuning in. I just want to give a shout out to my sponsors, Veg Fund, A Welfare World, ETC Impact, Mercy for Animals, nutritionfacts.org, Women Funders in Animal Rights, Stray Dog Institute, collectively Default Veg, and individual supporters such as yourself, viewers that are listening in and reaching out. So definitely, please continue to support. That's how we're able to bring you this content. And Dr. Rao, I know you're really busy saving the world, so I appreciate you taking this time out to talk to me and promote the event. Again, here it is again, everyone. It is the Vegan World 2026 convergence happening this weekend, October 23rd to the 24th. Get engaged. If you have friends that are not vegans, you need to be inviting them to this event. These are the people that need to be attending. I don't care if they watch one thing, a screening or something. You need to be inviting your non-vegan friends to this conversion. So please, take responsibility and do that. It's very, very, very important. We have one more comment. Cheers. Thank you for tuning in, Daya. We appreciate your comments, and stay blessed, stay well, and stay safe, everyone. Thank you.